Hi guys, it's Walking Zero Dead here, king of the anime and manga unboxers. So today I'm going to be doing a new segment for my channel, something a bit different. I'm going to be facing off, the voice of anime from the 90s, Steve Blum.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology.
Versus the voice of video games in the 90s, David Hayter.
I don't have a name. Stop using that code name you liked so much 10 years ago.
So the way I'm going to be doing this is first I'm going to do profiles and their voice acting careers. Then using my capture card I'm going to show you a cutscene from Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, which is this amazing graphic novel comic book looking cutscene, which is amazing, where these two voice acting legends are at the same place at the same time doing a scene together. Then finally in the comment section down below I want you guys to vote on who you think is the better voice actor, David Hayter or Steve Blum. And give me some of your favourite quotes from some of the characters that these guys have played, because they've played some awesome characters over their career. So first off, I'm going to do Steve Blum's profile. Now his debut role was back in the early 90s in the original Guyver anime. Now he's gone on to do nearly 500 voice acting roles in both video games, American cartoons, and anime. Some of his most famous anime roles include Spike Spiegel from CowBoy Bebop, Mugen from Samurai Champloo, Makoto Shishio from Kenshin, Lord Orochimaru from Naruto, and he also did Zabuza. Games wise, he mainly does additional voices, but he's done it in a ton of series of The Last of Us, Bioshock, Halo, Mass Effect, Resident Evil, Tomb Raider. He also voiced Ares in the God of War series. The thing I like about Steve Blum's acting talent is that he always makes his characters believable that he plays. His voice always matches the look and the feel and the attitude of his characters. His most iconic role, in my opinion, is Spike Spiegel from CowBoy Bebop. Steve Blum's voice, brings the character to life and gives Spike that cocky, that swag, that calm, cool, collected attitude that he's got. In my opinion, no one else could ever play Spike. He is Spike. Spike's a part of him also. He also tends to always get, the role of anti-heroes like Wolverine and bad guys like Makoto Shishio, because he's got that really deep voice that's really distinctive. So guys, let's move on to David Hayter's profile. He's most famous for the voice of Solid Snake and Big Boss in Hideo Kojima's video game franchise Metal Gear Solid. He's formerly used an alias called Sean Barker, which is, he actually took that from the 90s Guyver live action movie, which he was the lead character in. So I always thought that was really interesting that he called himself that. Most fans don't actually know also that he wrote the original 2 X-Men movies, and he wrote the Watchmen movie and also the Scorpion King. So voice acting is kind of his side job, and he always sees it as his kick-ass side job, which is really awesome. He also has done some anime roles as well, which not a lot of people know. He played Yoko Kurama in the Yu Yu Hakusho movie, I believe it's the second one, The Golden Seal. He also played Lupin the Third in one of the Lupin the Third movies, which I think really shows his range, because he was really great as Lupin in my opinion. Not people know that he played Lupin. He also plays a character called Tucker in something called Fushi Yugi OVAs, which I have no idea what the hell they are. Just heard about it. And he also played Captain America in the original, 90s Spider-Man, which if you remember back in the days, that Spider-Man was awesome. It was up there with the Batman, the animated TV series, and the awesome X-Men. But yeah, he played Captain America, which I didn't realise until I did some research. His most iconic roles are, that of Solid Snake and Big Boss. Over the Metal Gear Solid franchise, Snake, this hardened, career soldier, has become a broken down, used up human. And this is because of David Hayter's voice. As a fan, we're invested in the characters, struggle. And this is because of David Hayter's voice that we feel this pain, that we feel this struggle of these characters. Snake has that chain smoking, grisly, granite kind of voice, and David Hayter pulls off action hero one-liners, those cheesy action one-liners perfectly. And he also can bring a bit of humour and a little bit of flirtation to female characters as well, which is really great. More importantly, he makes the character of Solid Snake and Big Boss human. He gives us that human emotion to them. When I think Metal Gear Solid, the first thing that comes to my mind is Solid Snake. And the first thing that I think of, or that I hear when I think Solid Snake, is David Hayter's voice. David Hayter is Solid Snake, and Solid Snake is David Hayter in my opinion, and that's not a fanboy talking, that's just how I feel. So enjoy the Peace Walker scene, guys.
Are they still here?
Come on, Snake. This could be good for us. They're willing to give us an offshore plant, a place we can finally put down some roots. This is our chance to expand MSF.
We don't need a place to stay, Kaz. We're nomads. We always will be.
What? You'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Tools in the hands of whoever's fighting at the time?
The second we settle down, who's to say we won't become the warmongers?
Listen to me, Snake. We're not mercenaries. We're not a foreign legion. MSF's a business. A new kind of business. Look, it's not like we're trying to start a war here. All we need to do is find out who this security company really is.
Come on, Kaz. It's pretty obvious that they're backed by the CIA.
Wait a sec. That would mean...
Our friend, the professor, is likely KGB.
I see.
We'd be making an enemy of our homeland.
And there'd be no turning back.
This damn thing won't light.
Huh?
Put on some coffee, Kaz. It's time for a little chat with the professor.
I was a heavy smoker. When I got my medal from the Secretary General, he gave me this prosthetic hand as well. But smoking was ruining my lungs, so I quit. I've not had much use for it since. It's quite an honor to meet the legendary Big Boss.
That's just a code name the CIA made up.
Then perhaps I should call you John.
I don't have a name. Stop using that code name you liked so much 10 years ago. What about you, comrade? What do they call you back at Center?
Well then, allow me to get straight to the point. Land as slim as a whip, hot as torture.
That's the Chilean poet, Neruda.
Central America is the navel of the American continents, bridging north and south. We want this land. We'll build a socialist stronghold, then use it to split the Americas in two.
America would lose its backyard.
And with it, its economic production, shipping lanes, and strategic value. We, on the other hand, would gain a base from which all of Latin America would be well within our reach. He who controls Central America will win this Cold War. First comes Nicaragua, toppling the pro-American Somoza regime. In preparation, we've begun instigating anti-Somoza sentiment and providing aid to the Sandinista National Liberation Front.
You're manipulating Sandinista into overthrowing Somoza for you.
After the revolution, Nicaragua will become a socialist state.
You think America's just gonna let that happen?
Certainly not. After all, the CIA is already here.
And that's the armed group inside Costa Rica.
Precisely. It's clear that they've been sent in to disrupt our efforts across the border in Nicaragua. Simply put, the army now stationed in Costa Rica is CIA capital. But it's more complex than that. The CIA's got something else planned as well.
What?
That is the million-dollar question. Big Boss, we want you and your unit to find the answer. Infiltrate and investigate the facility in La Costa where Paz was imprisoned. Learn all you can of their operations. Then, drive them out of the country.
You're asking us to settle a turf war between the KGB and the CIA?
What about her? That was all just an act?
You mean her words about peace? She was captured, that much is true. But I've kept my KGB affiliation from her.
And you thought we'd fall for a sob story.
No. I had good reason to bring her along. She managed to escape with her life, but her friend was not so lucky. Why were they attacked? I believe this will help explain. Perhaps they saw something they weren't supposed to. Perhaps they heard something they shouldn't have.
A cassette tape?
Paz took this during her escape. She says her friend happened to record it by accident.
What is that?
A portable stereo cassette player. The first of its kind.
Ah, I heard they were working on something like that in Japan. Didn't know you guys were too.
I believe what you're about to hear will help you understand.
What is that? A quetzal?
The phoenix bird.
Paz's friend was researching birds. She went out into the jungle to record bird calls and stumbled upon this.
So? So what?
Now it gets interesting.
Poisonous. I need to get rid of it. I chase it back to its nest. You can't. The snake's too vicious. It's all many people. I chase it away. It will bite you unless you kill it. Go home.
Paz. Voice print analysis confirms that this voice is indeed that of the legendary hero and criminal, the boss.
What?
The other hasn't been identified. Female in her 30s with a British accent. The song playing in the background was a hit in 1973.
What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your mentor? Your mission or your beliefs?
I am loyal to
Boss
myself.
is alive in Costa Rica.
As I understand it, she was your commander, fought by your side. And that you killed her under orders from the CIA, thus surpassing her to become the hero known as Big Boss. Well, what'll it be? Will you take the job?
Snake, it's gotta be a trap.
So you still can't turn your back on your country? Then I suppose you won't need this.
Wait!
Snake?
I'll do it for the girl. For Paz.
Okay. For peace, then.